Bodily injury liability coverage comes in and it does two different things. If you were to run into someone because you were not paying attention, you ran the stop sign, you were talking on the cell phone, and they were injured, then the bodily injury coverage will protect you, and it would go out to pay any amount of money that it was determined that should be paid if the other person was injured. Okay? On the flip side, that is the coverage that will help you if another driver ran into you and caused you injuries. Okay? It is very much based on fault, and it is not required. Okay? Tell you a really tragic story. I had a case in Washington County one time, and unfortunately the gentleman came across the center line, was coming down a curve. The car that was coming north realized it, jerked to the lane. At about the same time, the driver of the truck realized it, jerked back in the same lane. A near head-on collision at about 55 miles an hour apiece. Unfortunately, 3 people perished and 1 person was severely injured. Okay, and so you wound up with just catastrophic damages, and the at-fault driver had $20,000 in bodily injury coverage. That was it for everything. In that instance, remember the pro rata term we just heard? The insurance company comes in and says, we're so sorry, but we can't do anything except divide up this $20,000 for, unfortunately, these families that have lost a loved one. Just tragic. So the good news is, to avoid a horrible situation like that, what you can purchase is something called uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. And uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage is the most important coverage you can have, because I believe that while our vehicles are important, while our property is important, we're more important than all of them put together. And our family is also more important than those things put together. So the uninsured motorist coverage is the one that actually helps you in the event of a tragedy and you have medical bills, you have expenses that aren't covered by the other driver. There is something that the legislature actually requires. Florida law requires that your insurance agent offer you uninsured motorist coverage in an amount equal to the bodily injury coverage you buy. So the way I like to analogize that is, as much as we protect our neighbor, the law says you can protect yourself that much too. So for example, if I purchase $50,000 in coverage to protect you in case I run into you, the law says my agent has to offer me $50,000 in uninsured motorist coverage to allow me to protect my family in case someone runs into me. Okay? And it's their fault and they don't have enough coverage. Or it's their fault and unfortunately there is 2 or 3 people that are severely injured or something horrible happens. And it can help you pay for the things such as medical bills, lost wages, and so forth. Before I tell you about stacked and non-stacked, let me go ahead and make a confession to you. Whenever I graduated law school and first came back and first started practicing law, and I went in and my insurance agent said, okay, Doug, we're going to get you some insurance. Do you want to buy uninsured motorist coverage? I looked at the name and said, if they won't pay for insurance, I'm sure not going to pay for it for them. Because I did not know, I did not understand. And she looked at me and she said, you'll be back. You'll be back. And about 2 or 3 months later, once I started learning more of exactly how Florida law worked and started to understand what we're discussing right now, she was right. I came back. I came back. And then I also answered this question where it says stacked versus unstacked. What Florida law allows you to do is if you have more than one vehicle on your policy, a husband and wife and a child that's 16 or older or something of that nature, or you just happen to have 3 or 4 cars on your policy, you can literally stack your uninsured motorist benefits to give you even more protection. So if you had $50,000 apiece and you had 3 vehicles, all of a sudden you have $150,000 to protect you and your family in the event something were to happen. So always buy stacked, and the reason for that is Florida law doesn't require the other driver to carry anything. As far as injuries or damages go, for medical bills, for lost wages, for pain and suffering, that your child's graduating, you can't go watch them because you're in the hospital, doesn't allow anything for that. So the way you guard against that is uninsured motorist, and again, it is not required. But I strongly encourage that you consider that. Hello, I'm Douglas Dykes with Cypher & Dykes Law Offices in Panama City. We represent people who have been injured in automobile accidents. The insurance companies have lawyers, investigators, and adjusters with years of experience. You deserve service from an attorney that can help you against the insurance companies. Write down the name Douglas Dykes and be sure to call me at 785-3400. I'll be on your side.